Hi, it's the Audio Journeyman back again. I wanted to go back over to some other equipment I own, things I bought many years ago, decades ago now, and I've tried to set them up and integrate them into different components. I'm going to go through things pretty much one at a time in these videos because I don't want to spend too short of a time or gloss over things, just to kind of bring the pieces in. Some of them don't work and I'll get them repaired and just, bring them back as they're repaired and working properly. If possible, some of these things might not work ever again. Anyway, I'm going to start with this one. It's an ADS Model 1001. I bought it new. It's ADS is probably better known for speakers. They were out of Massachusetts back in the 80s, 70s, 80s, into the 90s. I think they were purchased by Braun in Germany after that, and I love ADS speakers. I'd purchased this when it came out. This one, there was two. There was the 10 and the 1001. Only difference was the 10 had a built-in amplifier, 1001 did not. So you have to have an external amp for it. And what it does, its claim to fame, it simulates different size concert halls in different situations. Be it a small hall, a large venue, you could set it up and use it to simulate that environment as you played back the music. So I'll just go through the operations of it. The first knob here, they just turn normally, right? I think I can turn it on. Yeah, good. It's actually plugged in. As you can see, it lights up, has standard LEDs, and this is probably from 1982 potentially. And like I said, the first knob, stage depth. So people talk about this in speaker reviews. It's the feeling of how deep is the stage. Is it very deep? And the source of the music, the instruments or the musicians are spread out and deep, and that kind of environment. And you can go from very not deep, shallow, to very deep. And that's just a simulated effect. You'd hear the difference if it was playing. The source ambience, in other words, the ambient music that's playing, do you want it in a stereo source or a mono? Just to your preference of what it's kind of music. Maybe it's a mono recording, you want it in mono. It's a way to ensure that it's played back properly. This is the stage distance, the distance you are from the stage, and that you just set 14 meters. See, it gets stuck up sometimes, sorry about that. 10 meters, 7, and 3. So that's the physical, hey, you're in the 3 meters, you're, front rows kind of thing. I don't know about that, but it's that idea. And then 14 meters, you're mid-floor or something, or, wherever. Reverberation is the amount of echo you'll hear. And in this setup, there's your two main speakers. Then there's speakers that are mounted behind you, the listener, wherever you're seated. And they don't necessarily need to point right at you. They're for ambient sound, so they'll echo. You want echo, you want stuff bouncing off of walls, which is not normal for most setups, but this is what this thing simulates. It wants you to think you're in a much larger room when it's working properly. So a little reverb, a little echo, all the way up to like you're talking in a tin can almost. You hear a lot of echo. It's like a spring sounding is going on. Character, just wide and close, very sharp, or open, like the speakers sound open or close together, or close in the music presentation. And hall size, this is, you see some of these lights don't work anymore. Goes all the way, top is cathedral, large hall, small hall, and club. You want to simulate as if you're in a smaller venue, small club, up close. Or do you want something that, sounds like you're in a rock concert or a large church or something? Input level is just that. You have your source input, which is typically your main amplifier. And then, that you can set high to low, boost it up or drop it down depending on, your listening pleasure, what you want to hear. It does have a tape monitor, main and tape. If you're taping something, you want to hear it that way or play it through the main. You can cut the level down for the front speakers or raise it up. That's a 15 dB increase, which is make it very loud. You have 0, which means don't increase or decrease or cut it way down. Now just kind of take the front image, front music, and just really suppress it or increase it. I usually have done it in the past, just left it at 0. This is the output. So you can imagine you have an input from your stereo, your main amplifier, whatever, and then it is processed through this equipment, this piece of equipment, and you want it to come out direct. No ambient effects, just straight play it through the speakers, all the speakers at once. That would be that one. Then there's off, which means turn the output off. So that way the speakers don't play at all. And actually, thinking of this is actually just for the rear speakers. These don't control your main speakers. And then there's ambient, which means your main speakers play like normal stereo, but all the other speakers you have connected, you could have up to 4 of them actually, will play an ambient sound, make the room sound bigger, more dynamic, whatever you're looking for. And again, this is output level, very much similar to input level. It's just how loud you want to play it. And then finally, a on-off button. Last time I connected this device, nothing worked. Nothing played. All of the electronics flow through it. So you have to take your main power amp, your receiver, whatever you got, and run it as input into this. Then you have to have output from this. I'll actually go to a separate amplifier, which connects to separate pairs of speakers everywhere. So you have to set all that up. And this is your main control unit. So you can imagine, this is 1980s technology. If you find equipment, it'll probably degrade the sound. It's got, all metal connections and things. So, but if you're looking for, hey, I want to listen to the Grateful Dead, let's pick a band, and I want it to sound like a large concert that I'm at, you could simulate that in your living room by using this piece of equipment. And that's, I've used it for that kind of effect. Any kind of music it'll play, larger, more dynamic. It will, especially if the lights are out and it's dark and you don't have a visual effect, it will sound massively large, your living room. It's unbelievable when it's working well. Like I said, I hooked it up, went to use it, and nothing worked, nothing functioned. So I needed to bring it in to have it checked. Now, if it needs a new board or something, I think it's kind of done. They're hard to get parts for. They're impossible probably because ADS has been out of business for many years. People might have parts kicking around. Maybe we can find one on eBay or something, but that's a big question. But anyway, so it has a beautiful effect. Some of the modern receivers, home theater receivers, have these effects in them as well. You can find them, like some ADCOM stuff I've had similar ideas on how to do things. So that's kind of interesting, especially for a home theater, it seems more fitting. This was a true stereo item. And I'm going to try to get it fixed, hook it up, and then once I get it back in the system, I'll try to, I'll do a video just on it if it's working ever again. It might not work again. So I'll keep you guys updated on that. Again, a model ADS 1001. Acoustic Dimension Synthesizer is the official product name. And a digital delay system. It has a digital, mechanism that gave it that effect of timing differences and things. But anyway, it was great when it was working. I loved it. Used it all the time. All right, so thanks, guys. I'll be back shortly. Like I said, I'm going to do pretty much a lot of these other products one at a time, bring them through, talk about them, and then move on to the next thing, and then overall do a system, the system all connected together as one whole unit. All right, thanks a lot. Bye.